Ground control to Major Tom. Ground control to Major Tom. Take your protein pills and put your helmet on. Ground control to Major Tom. 7, 6. Commencing countdown, engines on. 3, 2. Check ignition and may God's love be with you. This is ground control to Major Tom. You've really made the grade, and the papers want to know whose shirt you wear. Now it's time to leave the capsule if you dare. This is Major Tom to ground control. I'm stepping through the door, and I'm floating in a most peculiar way, and the stars look very different today, for here am I sitting in a tin can.
Yeah, it's been absolutely wild to the moon here, wild to the moon. And it's 2:15 in the morning. 2:15 in the morning. And that double espresso from 4 or 5 hours ago has wore off. Why the feck am I even doing another show? Use mad bass. What am I doing? I should have went to sleep there. Right, I don't know how long I'll last. We probably get about 2 hours and 15 minutes of me sleeping tonight, instead of just the usual 10-20 minutes. So we could go for an hour sleep, 2 hours sleep maybe more. We could do more than 2 hours sleep here tonight. We'll need to see how it goes. We're breaking the record for falling asleep. We want to break the world record. The world record for falling asleep on an internet radio station. And tomorrow, later on tonight even, we're on the hunt of the zombies. Our special zombie hotline crime watch. Dob-a-dob night. Yes, we're having dob-a-dob night. Where were you 5 years ago? Premier League, you're having a laugh. You're having a giraffe. Zenit St. Petersburg. Were you a Cyndi Lauper from that night? Were you a police dog, or were you just a mad dog running about? We want to hear from you tomorrow. Later on today, tonight, tomorrow, whenever. It's Dob-a-Dob hotline. Dob-a-Dob hotline. So we want you to Dob-a-Dob. Dob-a-Dob-dobber. Name your dobber that's next to you who was in Manchester causing it. We want you to name your local dobber who was down there. Name and shame any dobbers. Dob-a-Dob hotline. The Dob-a-Dob hotline will be open for business tomorrow with our special Shankill number 0289 581 9876. That's our own very special Dial-a-Dob hotline. So if you know any brain dead zombies on the run, we want their names. We want to find out what bushes they're hiding in. We don't really want to name and shame them. We're only having a giraffe. It's crackpot McDougall time. Don't listen to me. I'm mad as a bag of nails. Right. Oof. Pink Palace. You want me to phone a Pink Palace? You are wired to the absolute moon. You mad dog, you. Oh, look at that. This is terrible. The rain. Off. What time is it? They must just be getting opened at this time. They must be opening up. Right. Before we get there, we'll go and speak to this crackpot in a onesie. There's a guy sitting here buttoned up the back in a onesie. So we better get him sorted and let him get to his bobos. Put him out of his misery.
Hello?
Is it true that you're sitting there in a buttoned up the back onesie, back to front, while you're talking to me, hanging upside down like a bat?
And I'm not touching PLC merchandise this year, T. I'm being good.
TLC? What's the matter with TLC?
PLC.
I think you're saying TLC. I thought it was a pop band, isn't it?
But they weren't bad in their day. We'll get them their due. How are you anyway, mate? Alright?
I was sad. One of the wee lassies died in at TLC, didn't she?
She did actually, yeah. She had a car crash in Costa Rica, or Puerto Rico, one of the two.
That's right. One-eyed lassie or something she was called. One-eyed sort of.
Yeah, she used to live with one of the Atlanta Falcons running wide receivers, and she set his house on fire. If I remember rightly, back in the day.
Oof.
Right.
There you go, we're getting a history lesson. We had anthropologist Jill giving us history lessons for was it the Gobi Desert? What desert was she talking about?
All the squaws love the pyro, mate. All the squaws love the pyro. But no, it was a good and I've listened into, I know Graham and Deco and that's in the chat room, I listened to Graham's show after Saturday night, after being at the game. The old Gallagate was bouncing after it, mate, I tell you.
Did you have a good time after it?
I ended up in the Surrey Heath all afternoon, but doing that Gallagate, mate. The only thing missing's the Millennium Falcon and Han Solo in it. Or it's like that bar, the do 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 do.
It's different with the Bell's bar not being opened, isn't it? It seems different when that side of the street's
it's
not
moved. It's moved. There's a good 150 folk or whatever Bells used to get in who would be floating about it, and they're trying to squash them in elsewhere now. But no, I was in the Surrey Heath. It was quite surreal actually. I was in there having a soda water in line with Bernie, who you met, and Joe Girl, and met a couple of folk. And the next thing, this guy came up to me and went, "You're the parrot, aren't you?" And I went, "Oh fuck, here we go." I said, "Aye, mate, yeah." And it ended up, boys, I'll give him a shout out. Wee Paul from Bishop Briggs, he was in the Milton Mutshahideen. So they were saying they listened to Graham's show and all that. So it was quite surreal. And obviously Graham's show was live at the time, but I couldn't phone in for the Surrey Heath, mate. I thought I was plainclothes or something, you know. So it was good, mate. It was a nice wee afternoon sort of thing.
Aye. It's too early a start for me on a Saturday. I couldn't make it up, mate. I was snookered the last time they had an early start for the rest of the day, so I couldn't be bothered sitting about like a zombie all night. So I didn't get a ticket because a 12 o'clock start on a Saturday, it's just
it's
the single fish in it.
I think it's quite disappointing for the travelling support and the overseas folk are trying to watch the game, Tommy. You know, it's hard enough to get people. I mean, we're of an age who remember it was 3 o'clock on a Saturday and that's when your football team played.
I know, what point do we... I mean, we're not getting paid much for it. So what point is it worth saying to the TV companies, look, we don't care what time you put us on at, but just put us on at a decent time. I mean, so what if you put us on against fucking English Premier League? We don't care. Put us on at 4 o'clock on a Sunday. If they're on Sky Sports 1, then put us on Sky Sports 2 or ESPN. Surely, would you agree playing a game on a Sunday, if there's no other games, surely we should get to play our game at Sunday at 3 o'clock at Select Park? Is that not a bit decent time? At least even 2 o'clock? I mean, why does it have to be so bloody early? It's a joke now, isn't it?
I mean, they're shoehorning the product in, aren't they? You know, it's not the best, mate, but I'll bet it's going to be interesting this year to see how the season ticket sales go, etc.
What I'm saying is, like, we get washers for it, so we get a couple of million. I mean, what is that in money and revenue? And if you put an extra 5,000 or 10,000 on the door for one of these games that's on the TV, surely that would pay the extra million. I mean, we'll not even get $1 million for that one game. So, but most of the games that they put on the TV are away. So, for the one or two, if the TV comes calling, they want into our grun, so you're not getting in there to 3 o'clock. We couldn't give a shit what it is. We couldn't care if you put us against Man United and Chelsea. Our audience will stay with us instead of going to watch game. Surely to goodness they'll still get a good audience for all the Celtic fans wanting to watch Celtic, no matter who's on. Surely it can be done at 3 o'clock. I mean, you couldn't tell me who was playing at England yesterday. Well, all the games were on in England yesterday at 3 o'clock, but they weren't on the TV. So how could they not put our one on at that time? I mean, it's just beyond a joke.
I mean, the other thing is, though, you look at teams, other Scottish Premier League teams who have put their tickets down to a tenner for adults and £5 for kids the last couple of games of the season. If it was that all the time, you know, and people's rushing to get to the game. You know, but I mean, I don't know if you've seen, and I know there's guys overseas listening. I'm not making this comment flippantly, obviously, but the Thunder fanzine and the Green Brigade lads were saying that their bags were getting searched going into section 111 on Saturday, going into the game, and when they questioned why, and the police officers made the comment, well, you know what happened in Boston, we can't be too careful.
Yeah, what they say though.
It's on the usual suspects, the usual boys. The Thunder fanzine, Twitter account, etc. They retweeted it. So, and that's what we're up against, mate. You know. So, with I see my season ticket, I think it's next Friday. It's got to be in for, but I don't think I'll be buying into it, mate. I'm very proud to say I was one of the guys who was booing PLC chief executive when he strolled onto the park. For whatever, I
You were
don't know.
booing him?
Oh, mate, I was stunning. I was booing like a fiend at him, yeah.
Was there many people booing?
Well, there was I wouldn't say a lot, but there was a percentage of it, and the usual onesie wearers where they try to blame the Green Brigade for it. Now, the Green Brigade's come out and said some of their members certainly booed, but I definitely heard that there was boos coming round for other parts of the ground as well, mate. He's a busted flush. You know what I mean? It's Danny McGrain should have been on first before him. Real Celtic men, no some Neanderthal who's done absolutely hee-haw on his job, mate.
No, it was actually two boys outside the main door on Saturday actually got Peter Lawwell to do a job, and the sweat was lashing off him. He was sweating like you would never believe. The boy actually gave him a camera to take a picture of him and his mate. So there was Pedro Lawwell, CEO, the unseen Fenian hand, dressed like a Don Curly Willy, holding the boy's camera phone and taking a picture. No of him, Pedro Lawwell, with anybody else, but Pedro Lawwell taking a picture of the two boys. As I say, he was sweating as he was holding that camera and pressing that button. It was, and he just came out and he obviously had to get driven home, so he had a few sherbets, so his hand was a bit shaky. So the guy's picture.
There's 900 cameras in that ground, or the PLC's Predator drone, which is doing its rounds flying above it, could have took that picture for them, mate, and gave them a high definition one.
I know, that's all he had to say. He just had to say, look, I don't need to do that. We've got cameras trained on you already. Just contact the boys and we'll send you one later on. And they'll get me superimposed on the back so we're all standing together. It could have been done if only he said it, Pedro, you know what I mean? I'm waiting for mine's getting sent through. I'm asking for mines to get my onesie buttoned up for the back so that you only see me just for the onesie. That's what I'm going to come dressed. If I do a public appearance, I'll wear my onesie back to front with just my two eyes and my mouth, cut. Even that. I'll just put my mouth cut out so you can hear me talking.
If I can balance myself up, because I don't want to sound. I was told that people inside Celtic Park were actually worried about my mental health with some of the stuff I tweet and say. So I better balance it up a little bit by saying, well, everybody that attended the charity event in the Bronx last night, Celtic Graves, Chaz Duffy was sort of put the feelers out, and Celtic Graves, Jim Blythe and the guys, and there was a lovely girl at Celtic Park, managed to get a signed strip over to the event for it. I threw in my mass card from the 125 mass, so that strip went for $1,100 last night. There's an Irish boy over there that's not keeping well with cancer, sort of thing. So that was fantastic. It looked as if there was a good night. Chaz sent me a picture of it, sort of thing. So that was good.
Right, yeah.
And the other thing is just a bit of onesie mania. Buffy Sweeney, the boy off my supporters bus. I spoke about him in the Homeboys one night. I mean, this is a late night show. I can run the real story now. I don't have to do the watered down one. We were up at Kirkcaldy for the Rovers Cup game, and he ended up. He sort of, at his place of work, he sort of got a bit hot and bothered with a lady. Unfortunately, the lady had a girlfriend, and the girlfriend sort of confronted him at the football and held up the pinky at him in front of everybody at the football.
Oh.
So, but in his defence, Buffy, who's got a onesie, I mean, I sent his picture to the Homeboys a couple of weeks ago, and the lads retweeted it. Buffy has said that the boys are going up to Tannadice this week for the last game, and he's going to wear his onesie to the cup final, and the lads are all going to sponsor him for doing it. There's about 80 on the bus, and all the money raised from it is going to go to the Kano Foundation. So fair play to him too, you know.
I'm just trying to get a tune up here as you were talking. See that number for the lesbian and her pal? Do you have a number for them?
No.
Well, you're getting banned then. You're banned. See if you even mention it and not even producing a number. I mean, it's only the good grace of God that I'm keeping you on here. Why should we delay the inevitable for cutting you off? You can't even get a number for a lesbian dressed in a onesie for the show. I mean, this is the prime time to phone lesbians, know what I mean? Because we get some carpet munching action live in the show, and you've denied this happening. It's an instant red card. There's no reprieve.
Absolutely.
We've been chasing the poontang from New York to Las Vegas, and you're talking about a couple of carpet munchers and onesies, and you can't even get the number when you were in their company with them.
You're talking to the man who's in the Merchant Navy. I've been in more brothels than Miami Vice. Not that I did anything in them. Always say there was a ship's parish priest, but that's another story. 5 pence lap dances in Cartagena till you missed your calling.
That's just shocking. That is slanderous, mate. How do you know I was there before you? I was in when I was getting them at penny shares. Me and Imran Ahmed were there at a penny. Before you get in with 5 pence, we took it at a penny.
Well, it's quite spooky. All the stuff that's getting retweeted about where Craigie White's got his house in Costa Rica. I've actually been there, and where the money's been supposedly stashed in the Caribbean. I've been there as well, so I'll have to get my atlas out next to see where the next bit of the money trail's going.
Well, I know. Me and Jill, once I've finished doing my washing the dishes, me and Jill are going on our honeymoon to Costa Rica. Once this is all died down, mate, once we have cleaned out the Las Vegans and the Los Angeles crackpots for everything they've got, we're settling down in Costa Rica, mate. Does Costa Rica have a treaty with the USA?
It's one. I'm not sure the USA. I know Britain's not got an extradition order with it. Hence why Craig's got a house there. Fantastic.
What about Venezuela? Does Britain have a treaty with Venezuela, no?
Venezuela doesn't really talk too much of the Western world, mate, to be honest. They've got their own wee thing going on out there, which is quite good.
Hugo Chavez, right? We're going to Venezuela, man. It goes tits up everywhere. We're taking refuge in Hugo Chavez land.
I used to work in the Dutch Antilles, which is next to Venezuela, so the little fruit boats would come over every day and you'd get all your fresh produce, fantastic.
You're like the Fenian fucking Uncle Albert. You've been to every part of the world. You've been round to Kathmandu. I bet you've been up Mount Everest fucking selling your onesie.
I tell you, it's quite ironic. Do you know what? The only river I'd never sailed on was the Clyde until years ago when my brother moved down to Renfrew, and I actually get the Clyde ferry for the first time in my life.
The only river. So what? So you've been up the Yangtze River?
I'm glad you said river at the end of that.
See, how do you plead there? Have you been up the Yangtze then?
No, I've done it. I lived in the Far East for a bit. That was good out there.
So, you've been to every part. I've only been out one. I can't go. Europe is as far. I've been out once outside of Europe, but it wasn't for that long. And after that, I mean, Europe is its. You've been into the four corners. You're the Fenian Michael Palin. If Michael Palin hadn't
you could have said Michael Fagan there and made my night, no?
Michael Fagan, Michael Palin, they're all the same. The fact is, Michael Palin was 5th on the list. I heard it today, there was other